I'm Justin Spence, Product Specialist at Consolas Audio, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to daisy chain two StudioLive 1642 digital mixers. Now, the StudioLive 1642 is a 16-channel mixer with a built-in FireWire interface that's great for live sound and for recording. One of its cool features is that you can chain two StudioLives together to get a tightly integrated 32-channel mixer, and you can still record. You can even chain four StudioLive 1642s for a 64-channel console, although you won't be able to record in that case because FireWire can't handle that many streams. To chain the mixers, you start by connecting them with a FireWire cable. As you can see, the StudioLives have two FireWire jacks, so you can chain them and still have a FireWire connection for your computer. The desk with the lower ID or serial number will be channels 1 through 16, while the unit with the higher ID or serial number will be channels 17 through 32. I have my StudioLives configured so that the mixer on the left has the lower ID or serial, and the mixer on the right has the higher ID or serial. I'm going to change the link ID numbers on page 3 of the system menu to make the StudioLive on the left the slave, and the StudioLive on the right the master. Note, the gain reduction meter will flash, indicating a clock change. Once the link ID is configured, the StudioLives are linked. A good test to see if everything is functioning normally is to select the SIP button in the master section and solo channels on the master and slave desk. It should light up like this. Once we've tested the link function on the mixers, we need to decide if we want to run the subs merged or unmerged. If we merge the subs, then all 32 channels can be routed to the 4 subgroups on the master mixer. If we leave them unmerged, then channels 1 through 16 can be routed to the subgroups on the slave mixer, and 17 through 32 will go to the subs on the master mixer. To run the StudioLives like a traditional 32 by 4 by 2 large frame desk, you need to merge the subgroups. This function is located along with the link ID on page 3 of the system menu. In addition to merging my subgroups, my aux sends are also automatically linked, so I have all channels sent to the 6 auxes on the master desk. Now the 6 auxes on the slave are automatically routed to the master, so whatever you send to the slave auxes will be copied to the physical aux outputs on the master desk. So for example, if you want to send kick, snare, and bass guitar on the slave desk to aux 1, and you also want to send piano, guitar, and vocals from the master desk to aux 1, you would create the aux mix just like you would if the desks weren't linked, by hitting the mix button for the aux, and then grabbing the encoders in the FAT channel and creating your mix. Like the auxes, the main buses automatically merge when two StudioLives are linked together, meaning all channels go through the main bus on the master desk. If you assign channel 1 on the slave desk to the main bus, it will be sent to the main bus on the master desk. So to recap, the aux and main outputs are automatically merged when you link two StudioLives. The sub outputs can be manually merged in the system menu or can be left unmerged to work independently. The internal stereo effects and scenes are stored or recalled separately to each desk. This means if I want to store my scene, I must store it on the slave desk and on the master desk separately. Recalling scenes works the same way. You must recall the scene on both the master and the slave desk. When you chain two StudioLives, you can use both the 2 stereo 32-bit effects processors on the slave unit and the 2 stereo effects processors on the master unit. Now, channels on the slave mixer can only be processed with the effects on the slave mixer, and channels on the master mixer can only go through the effects on the master. But that lets me do some pretty cool things. As I showed you earlier, you can merge the subgroups or leave them unmerged. I like to work with the subs unmerged because it lets me use the subgroups as effects returns and extra aux sends. Here's an example. Now I'm going to recall a reverb and delay on the master desk for my piano and vocals. Remember, the effects on the master mixer can be applied only to the channels in the master mixer. On our master desk, I'll send the piano and vocals in different amounts to the room reverb on Master Effects A. I will also send the vocals to an echo on Master Effects B. The effects returns are normal to the main mix bus, just like when the desk is in standalone mode. I will unassign the effects returns so that they aren't going to the main mix bus, and instead will send the effects A to subgroup 1 and effects B to subgroup 2 on each desk. This gives me effects return control with my fader instead of a knob. Finally, I'm going to create a side fill for the drummer with subs 3 and 4 on the slave desk, because even though the drummer uses in-ear monitors, he wants the side fills to be in his face. And that's it. All of the other features work the exact same way when two StudioLives are daisy chained as they do with a single StudioLive. Please note that the way I mix is just a suggestion. You can run these desks any way that you want. Be sure to check us out regularly at personas.com/blog, Vimeo, and YouTube. Thanks for watching.